Good morning, 5th and 6th graders. Today is your final history video. I'm going to go ahead and let this video include a couple of the pages that you have to read. Can you believe it? We finished the entire book, and some of it distance learning style. Well, it's not what we expected, but the Lord helped us and we got through it. And it's been a joy to teach you guys this year history. I hope that you have developed a love for history, and I know I love to teach it. And I enjoy learning about different civilizations and different countries. We've gone from the beginning, literally the beginning, where we believe that civilization started, that Fertile Crescent, remember that? The Middle East. And we have visited all different countries in Africa and in Europe and in Asia. And most recently we visited Australia. And it has been a ride, has it not? You've learned a lot of different geographical locations. You've learned countries and capitals. You learned about different people groups. And I hope that you've learned that we live in the most wonderful place in the world. It's not perfect, but thank God for the United States of America. Let's dive right in today to our final lessons on Oceania and some of the different islands that are in that region. Now, this here is Australia. Over here you have Asia. On this side of the map would be the United States. Of course, down here is New Zealand, New Guinea, and it's almost as if our Creator took a pepper shaker and shook it out over the Pacific Ocean, and 20 to 30,000 islands appeared up out of this water. Some of them are just little small groups of rocks. Some of them are large, plenty big enough to inhabit people groups, and we're going to talk about them. Here's a close-up of the three main island groups. You have Polynesia, which is the largest span of water and islands. You have Melanesia, which actually would be the largest population. And then you have Micronesia. That prefix micro, you remember hearing of a microscope means small, so there's the smallest islands. Here is a picture of what the people of Polynesia would look like. They're the lightest skinned people in these groups of islands, which would include New Zealand, Hawaii, and America Samoa. Melanesia has more, the actual word means brown, and so you have more of a darker skinned group of people that live there in Melanesia. As I mentioned, it's home to the largest population of people, which a lot of them would live in New Guinea. We're going to talk about that country in a moment. And then up at the top, this is a group of people that would live in Micronesia. If that slide will stop, you can see it. It's kind of a mixture of the darker skin and the lighter skin. Some of you may remember in our classroom, we had on the back wall different ethnic groups represented, and in the middle it said, He loves them all. God created them all. And so our skin tone doesn't determine our value to God. Our value to God is you are special because He created you. This is a picture of New Zealand. New Zealand is a beautiful land. Its capital is Wellington. Also in New Zealand, there is a large city called Auckland where a lot of people live. The original inhabitants of New Zealand were the Maoris. When I see that image, it makes me think of the Disney movie Moana. I don't know if you've seen that movie or not. But that particular movie portrays them as shipbuilders and sailors, and they were known for their navigation, and that actually is true. The Maori people who were indigenous to this region were known for their sailing and their navigation, as our book mentions. In Papua New Guinea, you would have a large group of people that lived. In fact, over 700 languages are spoken in this region, more languages than any other country in the world. Their capital is Port Moresby. One of their claims to fame is that they have the highest island peak in the world, which is Mount Wilhelm. Now, some of the people that live in New Guinea would have been very primitive, some of them cannibalistic. They did not know of the love of Christ until God sent to them some missionaries such as John G. Paton. And you can read a little bit about him on page 304 in the brown box. Let's visit the bottom of the world, Antarctica, the frozen continent. Now, this particular landmass would not be home to permanent inhabitants because its average temperature is about -11 degrees. But researchers and scientists can make their home there temporarily. these guys do make their home there permanently. The penguins, including the emperor penguin, the largest penguin, and this bird. This is the Arctic tern. It is the migration champion of the world. This particular little bird can travel 11,000 miles in a year from the South Pole all the way up to the North Pole. And as you conclude this chapter, you'll read about some of the discoverers of Antarctica. Captain James Cook pops up again. Charles Wilkes, who was from the United States. Roald Amundsen, he was from Norway. Richard Byrd and Robert Scott. And some of them and their team perished as they tried to discover and navigate and explore this cold region. But thanks to these brave men, we know a lot more about Antarctica. Guys, it has been a joy to teach you this year. I'm proud of all you've accomplished. I hope you have a wonderful summer.